It's my great pleasure to introduce the next speaker, who I've known for approximately 5 years. And in that 5 years, I've gotten to meet him a number of times. And one of the things that I really appreciate about Alex Collier is his courage. It takes a lot of courage to come out and speak a truth that people aren't ready for. And to tell people that you've had face-to-face meetings with extraterrestrials, human-looking extraterrestrials, who have given you these incredible insights and information is not an easy thing in a very skeptical world, and you pay a very heavy price, and it takes a lot of courage to do that. And Alex has been doing this since 1990. For well over a decade, he paid a very heavy price for doing that, and he continues to do so. He had to go basically quiet for a number of years, had to go kind of like underground, semi-retirement, but only the last year, it's only the last year that he's come back to give some public presentations to talk about what is really an ongoing set of experiences with these phenomenal extraterrestrials from the Andromeda constellation. There's really not much I can say to introduce you or to prepare you for what Alex has to say. It really is something to be open to. It's not an easy thing to accept that people are having these kinds of experiences, but I can assure you it's very, very real. It's something the government does not want you to know about. They are happy to let you know about scary stuff happening out there, but they don't want you to know about the experiences with really benign, loving, beautiful beings from the stars that are here to help us evolve to our next level. And so with that, I am honoured to introduce our next speaker, Alex Collier, who can really open us up to this remarkable phenomenon. Alex.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for attending this presentation. I want to thank Dr. Sala and Angelica and all the staff for this incredible conference. It's just remarkable, and my wife and I are thrilled to be here. We just love the islands, and it's a great escape from the mainland. What I don't want to do today is go into a lot of background. There is more than enough information out there. I know if you just type in my name, some things will come up, okay, both pro and con. And I would just encourage you to research it and make up your own mind. What I want to do, though, is I want to just get right into it. I'm traditionally a very slow starter in a talk, and I want to avoid that. The bulk of the talk will be about mentorship. I want to spend about 15-20 minutes just kind of bringing you up to speed with things that are going on in the world. Obviously, I'm going to assume you're all paying attention to what's going on. The world politically is changing dramatically. We are moving towards a fascist world government. Individual liberties and rights are disappearing all the time. In fact, here in the United States, the only reason we have a Bill of Rights is because of the Second Amendment, because they haven't figured out how to get the guns. The Constitution is essentially gone. They're doing whatever they want, whenever they want, regardless of the boundaries and the chains that the Constitution limited them to. We have a world financial crisis. All of these things are done as a matter of control. And essentially what we have is we've had a global government for some time, actually, but now they're just becoming more and more overt about it because they feel so confident that they have everybody exactly where they want them. The next couple of years are just going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to seem like 50 years, all the changes that are going to occur. In the end, however, we will look back at it and say, my God, what a blessing. Because clearly what we're doing and what we have created for ourselves isn't working. It has only detached us so much, not only from the earth, but from who we actually are as souls, as beings. So it's not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. Even if the governments of the world came clean and said, okay, we are colonizing Procyon and Altar, and we have found all of these resources, and we're bringing them to the earth, and everything's going to be okay, it is still unsustainable. And the reason for that is we are not living a spiritual life. And that's what we are. We're spiritual beings. Okay? We are not a natural resource to anything or anybody. And over the years, being with Mornay and Phaseus of the constellation of Andromeda and others, what's been very difficult for me, the learning curve for me was being able to shift my perspective to how they view us. And that's been a real challenge because, this reality is so real. It is so solid. And having been born and raised a Catholic and come from a very large family, gone through the dogma, the indoctrination, that many of us have gone through as kids. It's been pretty tough to just push it away and just take it. So, once you've come to that place of realizing what you don't want in your life, you can actually begin the work of building what you do want. Because intention is everything. Okay? And you have to have intent in order to create anything, even ourselves. There had to be the initial intention to want to experience, to want to create physicality, to want to leave eternity to come down and begin this journey of physicality. Whether it's here on Earth, whether it's in Andromeda, the Pleiades, Orion, it doesn't matter. They're all doing the same journey. We're just at different levels. That's all. And I can tell you that the Andromedans, which are fifth density beings, they wouldn't want to walk third density. I've given them plenty of opportunities to trade places with me. No, they weren't interested at all. Okay? Not interested at all. In fact, one of the things that the first time I kind of put it out there was Mornay and Phaseus looked at each other, and Mornay said to Phaseus telepathically, because they're telepathic, how would we ever use money? Because they don't use money. They don't have a monetary system. It's completely, they just don't go there. Okay? So they didn't understand it. And if you've looked at some of the research, I did a presentation on money for them. Mornay had asked me to do that. And after several contacts of going through this presentation, Phaseus just looked at me when it was over and he goes, I don't understand. Why do you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on? Okay? And that question still haunts me to this day. The changes that are coming are going to be nothing short of profound. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about 2012. I don't know the exact dates. I don't think anybody does, because we are still creating our future. We're creating it every day, every moment, individually and collectively. But there are some remarkable things that are coming out, not only in science, medicine, where quantum physics, and there are many wonderful speakers here at this show who are talking about that, and there are many other people out there in the world talking about these things, where they're literally proving that there is so much more to us than we've ever imagined. For a lot of you, it's like, duh, we already knew that. You know, we've been beating that horse for years, trying to get people to come into that place, to finally get it. Okay? Well, miraculously, people are starting to get it. At least they're asking the questions, which is huge. Okay? They're open to the idea of, well, maybe there is more to this. The biggest leap that the extraterrestrial races are excited about is the idea of us being open to extraterrestrial life, number one, and number two, to the idea of letting go of our dogmas. Because if we cannot let go of the dogma, we cannot embrace other possibilities. Because what we're going to find out is that many of the dogmas that we have held as cherished truths were false all along. And we have been building civilization on lies. And that's why none of it has held up. There's also a program that a gentleman by the name of Cliff High has created called Half Past Human, WebBots. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it. I would suggest you research it. It's fascinating. And, you know, cliff notes of it, essentially what it is he has created spiders and he puts in looking for verbiage and words, and he's been able to essentially tap into the entire global internet of language. And what he's tapped into, I believe, is the subconscious of humanity, which is fascinating. It's dire, it's grim, but if you realize the conditioning we've had for Armageddon, to believe that Armageddon had to occur, that there had to be an end of the world, that there had to be a final judgment of everything we've done, then it only makes perfect sense that this would be the steps that we would take to get to that place, to prove ourselves right. The truth is, we don't have to create any of that. Okay? It's an opportunity for us to take a look at these possible scenarios and say, you know what, I don't want that. I'm done with that. Okay? I'm choosing this, and then we can start to build and create something different. And that's literally where we are as a society, as a humanity. Okay? In service to each other, we will remain free. And it's about freedom. All of this is about freedom. Free will and freedom. True liberty. Earth was never meant to be a slave planet. You were never meant to be slaves. And you should absolutely resist going there, because it is not who and what we are. I can't say it any simpler than that. Now, it doesn't mean that you just turn the other cheek, and it doesn't mean that you don't stand up for yourself. You have to. To do nothing, to say nothing, you're condoning the actions of others. That doesn't mean you have to march, but what you should do is make the choice. Send your intention out every day, every moment that something comes your way that you're not happy about. Send an intention to change that situation. It will create